having the Blessed Sacrament, 50 paces from our bedrooms, and being able to make any kind of, as many visits as we want to the Blessed Sacrament. So I'd like to thank our Lord for being patient with me. For the many times I probably made him think, what is he doing? I'd also love to thank our Blessed Virgin for giving me the strength I needed to get through the day, to get through the school year, because sometimes you really need that extra push. Just saying, please help me get through this math lesson, please. And she'd always come through whenever you needed her. So I'd love to thank our Blessed Virgin, and also all the saints of heaven that I've prayed to over the past years in the seminary, and especially St. Margaret of Cartona. The minor seminarians will know this. But also, moving on, I'd like to thank His Excellency Bishop Tiverunas for particularly for during the sermon he was talking about the Millers, Mr. Drew and Malachi Miller. And I was thinking while he was giving this sermon, I had the privilege of serving the funeral mass at Mr. Drew Miller's funeral. So when he was saying all that about the Millers, that had an effect on me. So I'll try to keep the lessons which he gave for that sermon close to my heart. I'd also like to thank the faculty, and most especially, of course, the teachers, Father Benedict, for all the classes and the many epic chess games we've had. We've had some very good chess games in the past. And also Mr. Keaveney, who unfortunately isn't here, for his many Irish witticisms and his teaching me to say musha, which can mean many things. Or Mrs. Salgado for always being there in a pinch whenever I needed some help with, curriculars, or I had questions. Mrs. Salgado would always be there to help me. And also all the past and previous teachers we've had, particularly in memory of Mary Antonia Seal, who used to cook for us. We used to have many good conversations. So I'd like to thank her and pray for the repose of her soul. And also Mrs. Gallagher, our English teacher, who unfortunately isn't here, but was always, the kindest and gentlest person throughout the years I've been here. And also the other major and minor seminarians and my fellow graduates from the high school. I'd like to thank them for putting up with me when I was being rambunctious, or when I was sick and couldn't fulfill my responsibilities, and for just generally putting up with me. So I'd like to thank them very much. Also, on the same note, I'd like to thank everyone here, my spiritual family, because as everyone has a family, we all also have a spiritual family. And the people of this parish, I have never once known any person here who would turn down a person in need, who would ever do someone a bad turn. So I'd like to personally thank each and every one of you people here today for all of just being good Catholics. So thank you very much for that. And also, this is the end of my 5th year here. So I came here when I was 12. So I feel like I kind of grew up here, and it was very. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to say goodbye, because this is very much a home to me. Not even it's a second home, but it is also still my home. So it's going to be very hard to say goodbye, but say goodbye we must. As with life, it is transitory, and so its stages are transitory. So we have, your childhood, you have your graduation and that lovely commencement, and then you have your adulthood, where you have the responsibilities of an adult, and the burden and the responsibility to aid others, to give good example, to get a job, or to become a religious, or whatever your vocation is. And so for any students here, I like to say, don't waste your opportunity at education. Of course you enjoy it, it's you're still in your childhood, or you don't have all those responsibilities, even though you might think, oh, seriously, another lesson of math, I can't believe this is so unfair. But try to think, Just think of any, adult or grown-up, and think of the responsibility and the burdens that they have to bear and think, yeah, I've actually got it pretty easy here. I got it pretty easy. And so it's very important that we take advantage of and utilize our time as students to make the best of it, to make the most of it, to form in ourselves that adult who we want to be when we graduate, to be that person you admire, thinking, oh, I wish I were like him. He's always set a good example, and he's always been fun to be around, and he's always been very, very, gentle or kind, and think, while I'm here in school, I want to become like that person or this person. Or of course, you want to become like Jesus or Mary, being the prime example. But to use that time that we have while we're in school before it's all over and then we're in that life, we have to be giving that example. We have to be bearing these burdens. And so it's very good to have this, formative period in school. And I personally could never, ever have asked for a better environment or a better school to attend than St. Joseph Minor Seminary, and to be around all the other minor seminarians. Sorry. But, as I get ready to leave, and this beautiful Idaho behind me with all of its wonderful residents, I just have to say, I'm sorry for, how shall I say this kindly? Sorry for being an idiot, the many times I've been an idiot. And thank you for putting up with me and always helping me whenever I needed help. So, without further ado, I'd like to bid you all a very fond farewell.